So welcome, Modular Mondays, episode number 5. We've only scratched the surface, and today we're going to make something a little bit more basic, but very, very, very educational and functional, okay? As I said, we're tasked with making some sort of 3 oscillator thing, but we got to start from the basics, okay? Obviously. So what I want to do, which is kind of very nice to start with, is I want to, and I'm probably going to just type oscillator, VCO. We start with the VCO, okay? And I have absolutely no sound here. And as you know, if we drag stuff in here, we are gonna hear it because by the time you plug something into a modular synth, virtual one, it turns on. And so it's actually sending a note out all the time. Does it make sense to you? Maybe not, but in modular synthesis, this is how it is. You turn the module on virtually here, you have it on. If we connect it, we're gonna hear the sound of this VCO. And there's nothing that is actually gonna control it because it's not controlled by anything. Unlike what happens on your typical synthesizer, right? The hardwired ones. You play keys, they play, you have knobs, but on modular synths, that doesn't happen. So the first thing I wanna do is this. You see these 2 mixers here that I had. I'm going to keep them for now. This goes to the mult, and this mult goes to my Fusion Delay Flanger, Vintage Ensemble, whatever. And then it goes out here, but it also gets malted to the 4MS, and it also gets malted to the XFX Reverb, and all of them go here, okay? So if we want to have this mixer go, we need to go left here and we need to go right here. So now we're basically patched in. One thing I didn't like that I did before is that my cables, the cable colors are changing all the time. Vital purpose is to make so auto rotate colors, no. But let me see this guy here, cable color. This is nice because you can do this, and when you drag things, your color stays there. Isn't that amazing? This is cool. You have all of your colors and you can see them in a little module right here. So I'm thinking I'll put it here right after the mixer or right before. I have so many thoughts on doing all this. So yeah, okay, let's use the blue ones. So this goes here, this goes here. No, this goes here, this goes here. Okay, so these are plugged in and we're ready to go. So if we take this, I'm going to drop the volume down. If we drop this oscillator, we take the sine, for example, out, and we put it to the left input, and we take this up. We hear it. We don't really hear it as clean as it should be because we are sending it to the multitude of things right here, okay? So obviously we got this dry wet, we got feedbacks, we got the 4MS, the reverb, all of these dudes, obviously. So if we just want to keep it a little bit cleaner, I'll just keep the reverb. So if I put it up, right, it's coming there. So we got, I'm going to keep mix at where it is. I think I like it there. Let's do 50% maybe. That's exactly our synth, but it doesn't work that well because it's just going to make sound all the time. So we first need this VCO and we're good to go from here, but we don't want to plug it right here in the output because that's not what we do. We want a way to control these through the gating of my keyboard, for example, okay? So what we need is obviously an ADSR, which I think comes as envelope. And I'm going to use this guy here. So what we do here, we take the keyboard gate and we put it here. And then we need an amp, which I think is just VCA or amp. Let's use this guy here. So our oscillator goes to the VCA, which is our output, but our here, and our output goes to the mixer. But when we control this, when we push a key down, our gate is actually gonna send the envelope right here. So now we have an envelope that controls our VCA, simple as that. So we can raise these, it should not play, right? And want to just play something, it's playing. But it's not giving us pitch because we didn't connect the voltage pitch of my keyboard here of the bass station to the actual V oct. So now it is gonna do it. Right? So this is actually us now playing the keyboard. If I play this one, nothing happens. But if I select the different driver that is the key step, right, it works. I can change octave. Right? If I bend, it's not doing anything because we haven't connected the pitch wheel, which is PW, to our V oct. If we do this, right, we now have no range control over this, but we're actually pitching with our pitch wheel. So now we have this. I have a way to play it, and we have one single oscillator that is sine, okay? So how does it work though? Because we have no filter. If we were to use a triangle, right? And if we were to use a saw, right? It works, but we got no filter. And that's not what we want. I mean, I don't know, maybe we don't. So we continue on creating a filter. So we have this. This is gonna be our envelope for the VCA. We have our single oscillator, and now we go for a filter. And we're gonna keep it in the family of what VCV Rack has, just because people say it sounds bad, you know? To me, this is already fine. So maybe my taste is wrong. I don't think so though. So let's do duplicate. You might say it's basic, but basic's not bad, okay? So we take the gate again. We add another one because our envelope is actually, yes, gonna dictate the cutoff. That's how we're gonna do it. And the input of this is now gonna be our oscillator. So we send this saw to the input of the filter now, and we send the output of the low pass to the VCA, and we send the output of the VCA to the mixer, okay? Simple as that. So we still play stuff, we decide what kind of pitch the VCO has to have, then we send it to the filter is gonna react to the envelope that we have here, the first one, and then the filter sends it to the VCA, which is gonna be, you know, opening and closing according to what our ADSR for the VCA says, and then from there, we're out, okay? So right now, we got no attenuverter being used. There's 0% influence of these ADSR on the cutoff. So anything I set is just gonna play, right? So I'm gonna do this, which is very, very, very low. Let me see, maybe here. Oh, obviously, I'm not gating this, so we need to, and let's see where we are. Right? It plays, but this is a saw, it's getting in here, and it's not really opening a lot. Maybe if I do this, it does, right? And if I close it, it's really, really closed, okay? So I'm gonna give it a little bit of resonance, gonna open the cutoff, but I'm actually gonna give this envelope some influence through the CV. Okay, that's sounding already fine. That's sounding good. But what we're gonna do is we're also gonna take my modulation wheel from the key step, and we're gonna put it on the cutoff, and I'm also gonna put it on the resonance itself, okay? With it a little bit of influence. So when I play, this is a little bit too much. Let's go back here. Okay, let me switch to the bass station just because it's on my right, so I can play with my right hand. So it is nice, but it's not. See? The envelope is now controlling the filter itself. Right? So this is a little bit too short. Let's see here. Say I like this. Do we want to drive it more? Okay, I'm gonna keep it here. Save. And what we're gonna do now is we have just one oscillator. I want to have more than one. So I'm gonna drop this here. We're gonna duplicate this, or actually make two versions of it. So we have two copies. And we go duplicate. And these are our three oscillators. So we're gonna still put gate and pitch through them. We could do mods if we want. For now, let's do it like this. And we are gonna take another saw. We're gonna send it out, and we're gonna send the other one maybe as a square. I still don't know. So we need the voltage here. We have everything, but we need to mix this, right? This is where a mixer comes in handy. So we're gonna still keep it in the family, and I'm gonna explain why I want to do this. We're gonna send the output of this, the mix output of the VCA mix, into the filter. And now we take the inputs for number 1, number 2, and number 3. So now we have 3 saws that are going into the mixer, and the levels of which I can decide here, okay? So I can play, right? And what I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna take my key step, and I'm gonna put it on hold, and I'm gonna go 16 notes, and let me do this. Let me do ARP, and let me play this. Should work. Why doesn't it? Oh, because it's like order. Okay. Maybe let me do it here. Why doesn't it work with the arpeggiator? Okay, this one works. So I'm gonna go play it on the bass station. Why isn't it working though? Nah, it should. Hold on. Oh, it's locking tempo. It's waiting for the play. Okay, I see that now. Doesn't matter. This one's sending notes anyway. Okay, so I'm gonna latch it. And this one's gonna keep playing, okay? And while it's playing, we can actually play with the 3 oscillators. See this one? Okay, we got the 3 oscillators playing, but they're all the same. Right? So I'm gonna save, and we're gonna use something else that is the quantizer. This one's kind of convenient because it's a little bit simpler. You don't really need to use this, but I'm making a little bit of room here. Maybe I'm sending this guy down here. That's our MIDI. And we're gonna duplicate this as well. And we're gonna duplicate this as well. Okay, so now we're gonna, instead of sending this to the V octave straight away from my keyboard, I'm gonna go first to the quantizer, and then I'm gonna go here. Okay, so there's 1 quantizer per oscillator. Just kind of easier to do it this way. I guarantee you this is easier. So what we can do here is we have an offset. Okay, so maybe I want this to be the first oscillator. I want it to be lower octave. So we're gonna do this. Let's see. Is it playing? No? Yes? Yeah? Of course? Where? Oh, and it's... You hear what is happening? This is awesome. I didn't notice that I took the C sharp out, So it's replacing it with the closest voltage that is available. And so now we got a dominant chord sound. I was like, why does it sound like a dominant chord? Because we took a C sharp away. Now it's playing the C sharp. See the arpeggio I had. Okay, so I'm gonna open the filter again. Okay, and you have a 3 oscillator synth with VCF and its own envelope, a VCA its own envelope, the mixer before. It's kind of like a Moog sort of. We need noise now, right? Noise would be the 4th thing because that's present on a Moog. So I'm gonna do it right off the bat because I'm gonna forget otherwise. That's how it works, people. You keep forgetting. Now I'm not gonna put a quantizer for this one because we're probably never gonna need to quantize noise, but I'm gonna take pink noise and I'm gonna put it into input 4, and this is still gonna play all the time, but it's still gonna get moderated by this. So right, little bit of noise in my opinion is always welcome. I love it. I always use it. Okay, we're there. Now what we need to do is, as we said, we drop things out. So I want the first oscillator to be an octave down. The second one I like where it is. Aha! 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 Right? Wait. Now we do maybe an octave. Can we do more than 1 octave? We can. Okay. We do a well, let's do the typical kind of 3 octaves, okay? So now we got 3 sawtooths playing Thank you, Marco. Marco says very vibey. This is just the bass station 2 playing arpeggios with the played 1 or 2 octaves, me transposing octaves, not transposing, but shifting octaves, and just playing some C sharp minor, thing, Aeolian, if you're keeping score for modes. So it's just what I'm doing. What I've done, however, is not just simply play the 3 oscillators or whatever. As you can see, there's the mod wheel that is controlling the cutoff, the resonance, and the drive, okay? So when I move my mod wheel, I am actually opening the filter, adding resonance, and I am taking away drive. The 3 things together actually give a lot of movement to this, and into a reverb, I think you already have it, okay? Now, hold. I know the argument, like, well, yeah, but it doesn't sound very good, okay? In terms of if you wear, I don't know, like a very boutique analog hardware connoisseur, okay? You say like, well, it doesn't sound good. Well, I think it does sound good, actually. It's just, it's vibing, as Marco said. It's vibing, which is what we need, okay? However, okay, the point that I want to get across is not as much as how much an oscillator sounds, it's the synthesis. We're doing synthesis. We're all in this doing synthesis. That's what I've learned in the years. Something that I knew from the get-go that I had completely forgotten. Synthesis means it's the harmony, the conjunction, the teamwork of all the elements that actually generate something. It's not just the one thing. It's not a one player team. That's what I wanted to say. Okay? So and also expressiveness comes from subtle changes. Okay? So this could be a Moogish thing. We got our mixer, we got our ADSRs, we got our filters. It's not really like a Moog. It doesn't have all the mojo that a Moog would have, but that's what it is, sent through a reverb, right? As far as we know, 50% amazing reverb, in my opinion, that Blamsoft thing is. Now, I want to take this a little bit further. I'm going to show you what we can do. We can take CV4 and use, for example, the mod wheel again, and this will raise the noise level. And also what I want to do is I want my decay. I do these on my lead sounds on my soundtracks all the time. Don't do it, because if you do it, I will sue you and I will send lawyers, and I am kidding. Do it. It's fantastic. Anyway, just add a little bit of decay and sustain when you're doing mod wheel work on your sound, probably both on the amp and the filter ADSRs, okay? So we're coming back here. Here what we're doing, we're introducing noise. The higher I go with my mod wheel, we're adding a tiny little bit of decay and sustain to both the filter and VCA ADSRs. Everything else the same. We're not really touching anything, okay? This to me should be the first patch you make. This is stupid. What am I just... This shouldn't be anything, but I don't know if you feel me, like this should be the first patch you make, is what I would recommend you make if you want to work with modular synthesis. I would kind of start working with something like this, but you're ready. I mean, be amazed. I'm going to show you why, okay, in a second. So we have this. This is now just one oscillator, and I'm just moving the mod wheel, I'm not playing it. We want to make it, I don't know, super plucky. Simple as that. You don't really need certifications for how your oscillators are gonna sound or anything. If it vibes, it vibes. That's what I believe it does, right? We could even add a pitch ADSR to our pitchy things if we want to do pitchy things, okay? Simple as that. Now, the beautiful thing about this setup is that once you save these, for example, we put our MIDI right at the start, right here. We don't really have pitch modulation, but we could put it if we want. What you can do here is you can use this as a base, as a platform for all of your synth experimentation, okay? I personally love to work this way, okay? Even if I were to say I still want to add my delay, for example, and the other one here. You know what? I'm actually going to use mono stuff here. Left and right doesn't matter because it's mono inputs, so it's okay. And here, this is quite insane. I don't even know if it's on tempo. Obviously not. Hey James, how are you doing? Welcome. So we were saying, I mean, this works. I mean, maybe I'm okay. This delay is doing a lot. It's not mixed. There's no mixed levels and stuff. But if we play this through just reverb, I hope I kind of restore this here. You know, this. You can even unlatch it and play like this. Just use your pinky, which is number 5, obviously, because we call fingers numbers, to modulate. It's 2 octaves. If you're staying low enough, which you can only stay low enough in 2 octaves because your hands are going to take 1 octave each, you can still modulate and you can still hold it down. You don't even need to be fancy about gates and stuff. The important thing is that this setup will allow us to experiment with different modules. And I think this is why I suggest you, everyone, myself, to build kind of a 3-os synth. This is a nice setup. This is a 3 VCO setup that will work.